welcome back to the channel, and this is Tanya. And today I am gonna show you how to make an easy budget using Excel. So before we get started with the budget, let me ask you two questions. The first one is, what is your monthly income? And you probably know the answer to that question because we tend to keep track of how much money we make each month. And the second question is, what is your monthly expenses? So if you don't know the answer to the second question, that means you probably need a budget. So a budget is a great way to keep track of your finances and to allow you to establish goals and to achieve them. So there's several methods to create a budget. One of them is what's called a 50-30-20%. And basically we're going to allocate 50% of your income to fixed expenses, and then 30% of income to discretionary expenses, and 20% for savings and investments. So another method is what's called a zero-based budget. Basically, you're gonna make a list of every single thing you want to spend your money on, and you're gonna allocate money to those until you have zero money left. I like the percentage better, the 50-30-20%, because it allowed me to kind of manage that a little more easy. So let's get started with the budget. Okay, so here's an example of an easy budget on Excel that I use. So before we start talking about the budget, let me show you something. So I like to create a tab for each month. So I have here from January to December. And the reason why I like to do that is to keep my budget organized and easy to look at. So if I want to know how much money I spend in June, I just simply go and click on that tab and I can see how much money I made, how much money I spent, and my net income. So that's why I like to have a tab for each month. So now let's talk about the budget. So the first section of the budget is your income section. So here in green. So I have, for the income, I have a salary, side hustle, dividend, and others. And you can have as many rows as you need according to your income. So here I have a total of $6,050 for this example. Then the next section is going to be my expenses. And here I'm going to include rent or mortgage, loans, phone bill, daycare, car insurance, house insurance, health insurance, utility bill, electrical bill, groceries, baby product, credit card, fund and vacation fund, others, and my investment in savings. And for my example, I have a total expense of $5,055. Keep in mind that's what I have for me, but you can add as many expenses as you need. And then in the end, you're just gonna figure out what's your net income. So you're gonna do your total income minus your expenses. And what you wanna see here is a positive number. Because if you have a leftover in money, that means you are making more than you are spending. But if this number here was a negative number, that means I'm making less than I'm spending, and that means I need to cut the expenses. So I want to show you something else on this budget. So here I have divide my budget in different categories. So from rent all the way to health insurance, that's my fixed expenses. That's something that I have to pay every month and probably won't change. That's why it's a fixed. And then from my utility bill to my credit card, I have my variable expenses. And then from my fun, vacation, and others to my discretionary expenses, and investment in savings is my savings category. So remember when I mentioned the method 50-30-20? So basically what I have for my fixed expenses, I have taking up to 39.66 of my budget For my variable expenses, I have 28.68, which totalize just about 60%. And then my discretionary expense, I have 11.87, and for investment or savings, I have a total of 19.78%, what is going to totalize 100%. So after you create your budget, it's nice for you to check how is your budget being breakdown and how much money you are allocating for each of these categories. Another thing that I really like to do, but this needs to be done at the end of the year, is to get all my net income, as you can see here, January through December, and then I enter my net income, and I like to create this graphic that shows me which month I am having an extra money and which month is I'm spending more money. So here I had an extra money, I spent more money, and based on this I can adjust my expenses. So you can also do a graphic like this for your expenses. You can get your monthly expenses and you can plot that for each month, and you can see which month you spend more, and you try to adjust. So after creating the budget, your next step is probably going to be creating goals. So what you want to achieve over time, but that's a topic for another day. So thank you so much for watching the video and for being here, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.